Hello students. Yesterday we have seen that we studied about three types of muscles: striated muscle, smooth muscles and cardiac muscles. Striated muscles, the muscles which is voluntary muscles, stiffed muscles, and this type of muscles contain light and dark band. Today in this part we will discuss on ultra structure of striated muscles. Ultra structure of striated muscle. The striated muscle contains many fibrils, or you can say that this muscle contains many, it is made up of many muscle fibers. Striated muscle is made up of many muscle fibers. Many muscles fibers. Each muscle fiber is covered with a plasma membrane. The muscle fibers is covered with plasma membrane, and that plasma membrane is called sarcolemma. The sarcolemma consists a fluid which is called sarcoplasm. The sarcolemma contains, or you can say that consists, fluid which is called sarcoplasma. This sarcoplasma or sarcoplasm contains many nuclei, because we know that striated muscle is multinucleated. So sarcolemma or sarcoplasm which contains many nuclei, because the striated muscle is multinucleated, so we can say that there are many nuclei present in sarcoplasma. The muscle, which one? Striated, contains many parallel arrangement of myofibril. It means the muscle fibers, striated muscles contain many myofibrils which contain alternate manner of dark and light band. Myofibril which have dark or light band alternately. It means one dark band and one is light band. This myofibril contains it has two types of protein which is known as myofilament. The myofibril contains two types of protein, as well as you can say that myofilament. These two types of proteins are thick protein and thin protein. Thick and thin protein. The thick protein is called myosin. The thick protein is called myosin, and thin protein is called actin. And the thin is called actin. So the myofilament is made up of myofibril is made up of two proteins, or you can say that myofilament. This myofilament contains two proteins. Which one? Thick protein, that is called myosin, and thin protein is called actin. अब sarcolemma के अंदर there are endoplasmic reticulum present. In sarcoplasm there is endoplasmic reticulum present. Endoplasmic reticulum is found in sarcoplasm, so it is called sarcoplasmic reticulum. So it is called sarcoplasm or sarcoplasmic reticulum. What is the role of sarcoplasmic reticulum? It is a storehouse of calcium. It is the storehouse of calcium. This calcium is required by the muscles during contraction. This calcium is required during the muscle contraction. The dark band is also called A band. The dark band is made up of thick myofilament, which is known as myosin. The dark band is called A band. A band means anisotropic band. Anisotropic band. And the light band is called I band. I band. I band stands for isotropic band. Isotropic band. How is the A and I band present in the muscles? Suppose this is the A band. A band it means an isotropic band. At the center of A band, it contains comparatively light band also. It contains centrally light zone or light band that is called H band or H zone. At the centrally, it contains light band, and this light band zone is known as H band, or we can say that H zone. This H zone was proposed due to the Hansen's zone. H band. In the center of H band, from the center of H band, a dark line is passed out. A dark line is passed. This dark line which is passed through the centrally of H band is called M line. This is M line. This is the structure of A band. I band. I band is made up of thin myofilament called actin. This is the I band. This one is I band. I band is made up of thin myofilament called actin, and I band is also known as isotropic band. This one is also I band. This band is made up of actin protein. From the center of same, just like as H band, centrally line is known as M line. Same as the centrally of I band, a dark line is also passed out. A dark line is also passed out through the centrally of I band. This one is also dark line passed through the centrally from I band. This dark line which is passed through the I band centrally is known as Z line. Z line. This one is also Z line. The distance between two successive Z line, it means this one Z line and this one, two continuously consecutive, two successive Z line. This distance between two successive Z line is known as sarcomere. What is sarcomere? The distance between two successive Z line is known as sarcomere. This sarcomere is structural and functional unit of the muscle. मसल के कॉन्ट्रैक्शन रिलैक्सेशन करने में sarcomere की डिस्टेंस मे बी लेस और हाइयर हो सकती है. A band doesn't move, but I band slides. So we can say that in sarcomere, how many bands are present? One A, complete A band, and half successive adjacent of I band. Again listen, sarcomere, the distance between two successive Z line is known as sarcomere. Sarcomere contains one A band and half adjacent I band. It means half from left side and half from the right side. Half I adjacent, half I band, and one A band contains in sarcomere. This is the ultra structure of striated muscle. And we have seen that there are two types of myofilaments. Now there is need to study about the myofilament, structure of myofilament. Next one is the structure of myofilament. Structure of myofilament. As we have studied, there are two types of myofilaments. One is thick myofilament and second one is thin myofilament. Two types of myofilament. Thick myofilament and thin myofilament. The thick myofilament is made up of polymerized of myosin. It is the polymerized of myosin. It means there are many mono units of myosin made to form a polymerized myosin. The monomeric unit of myosin is called meromyosin. Meromyosin. Single unit of myosin is called meromyosin. There are many meromyosin combined and it forms a polymerized myosin. This meromyosin contains two parts. The meromyosin consists two parts. One, the globular head with a short arm. The globular head with short arm. And second part is the tail. There are two parts of meromyosine. Globular head with short arm is the first part, and second part is the tail. The globular head with short arm is made up of heavy meromyosine. The globular head with short arm is made up of heavy meromyosine, or we can say that HMM. It means heavy meromyosine. And the tail is made up of light meromyosine. So we can say that light meromyosine is LMM. The globular head contains two binding sites. One is actin binding site and other one is ATP binding site. Firstly, we draw the structure of meromyosine. It contains head-like structures and with a short arm. Just like this one. This is the structure of myosine. It contains a globular head with short arm. This is the globular head and this one is short arm. This one is. And this contains globular head. These both are made up of heavy meromyosine. And this one is called tail, and tail is made up of light meromyosine. The head contains two binding sites. One is ATP binding site and other one is actin binding site. This is the actin binding site. And this one is ATP binding site. A head consists two binding site. One is ATP binding site and other one is actin binding site. Globular head also act as ATPase enzyme. It also act as a ATPase enzyme. What is ATPase enzyme? This enzyme hydrolysis of ATP and produce energy. ATPase enzyme which hydrolysis of ATP and produce energy. Clear? And what is actin binding site? The globular head protrude portion. This is the protrude portion. It remains just like we have made a band. This is the protrude portion. This protrude portion bind with the actin just above the light band and makes the cross bridge. The actin binding site binds with light band which we can say that I band, isotropic band, and its protrude portion means उभरा हुआ जो बाहर तरफ निकला frontal portion bind with the I band and helps to make a cross bridge. It means this side bind with A band and helps to slide the I band over the A band, which makes the cross bridge. Tail, it makes the base of myosin. Tail, it makes the base of myosin. This is the structure of filament myosin. Second filament is called thin myofilament. The thin myofilament is made up of 3 proteins. It is made up of 3 proteins. And these 3 proteins are actin, tropomyosin, and third one is troponin. Actin. Firstly, we discuss on actin. Actin is the protein which is found in globular forms, and this actin may be present in 2 forms, G-actin and F-actin. This is the light myofilament, or we can say that thin myofilament. It is found in 2 forms of globular, yani it means also found in globular forms. Which one? G-actin and F-actin. The singular globular form structure is called G-actin. This is the G-actin. While the G-actin similar globular forms contains, or you can say that receive magnesium ions. In presence of magnesium ions, these similar globular forms fused and they form a fused globular forms of F-actin. Actin is the thin myofilament. It is found in 2 forms, G-actin and F-actin. G-actin, which is present in singular globular forms independently. But when these G-actin makes, or you can say that receive magnesium ions, or you can say that in the presence of magnesium ions, the G-actin fused and it forms a F-actin. So such one, this is the F-actin. The structure of F-actin just like this one. This is the F-actin. We can say that F-actin. It is the fused actin. And second one is tropomyosin. Tropomyosin is a fibers-like structure, 2 thin thread-like structure just parallel run to the F-actin. 2 thin myofibril, you can say thread-like structures parallel run to the F-actin. These thread-like structures are called tropomyosin. Tropomyosin. What is tropomyosin? The 2 fibers, or we can say that thin thread-like structures just run parallel to the F-actin, which is called tropomyosin. And third one is troponin. At the regular interval of tropomyosin, there are 3 troponin present, 3 globular form of troponin present. We can say that troponin is 3 types: TPC, troponin calcium, TPI, troponin inhibitor, and TPC, troponin C, troponin I, troponin T. There are three troponin present, three globular forms of regular intervals of three globular forms of troponin present on the tropomyosin, such like this one. There are three troponin present. At the regular manner, three globular forms of troponin present on tropomyosin. These are TPC, TPI, and TPT. What are TPI, TPC, TPT? TPC, this binds up the troponin or tropomyosin to the calcium. This bind up the tropomyosin, you can say that, affecting to the calcium. TPI, while affecting, or we can say that actin, binds with myosin. That makes the cross bridge. This cross bridge is inhibited by this TPI. So we can say that it inhibits the actin and myosin side, binding side. Myosin and actin binding side. एंड थर्ड वन इज टीपीटी, इस ट्रोपोनिन को ट्रोपोमायोसिन से बाइंड अप करने वाला जो है, दैट इज कॉल्ड टीपीटी. तो वी कैन से दैट टीपीटी इज इट बाइंड्स troponin to tropomyosin. So there are three troponin present on the regular interval of globular forms on the tropomyosins, which are known as TPC. It means it binds with calcium. TPI, that inhibit the binding of myosin and actin. It means that breaks down the cross bridge. And third one is TPT, the globular form of troponin which bind with the tropomyosin, means thread-like structures. That is called TPT. In next part we will discuss about different motor neurons or motor units as well as contraction of muscles.